Thank you for joining Wars of the Roses. As we continue with Part 10, The Instruments of Creation, Book 2, The Doctrinal Content of the Kabalah, from the Doctrine and Literature of the Kabalah by Arthur Edward Waite. 5. The Instruments of Creation. It must be confessed that so far Kabbalistic literature deserves to be called philosophical. The doctrine of Ain Soph may be classed with Platonic conceptions. The Sephirotic system will not suffer by comparison with any other dream of emanation and may even challenge all. The motive which underlies the metaphysics of the two countenances is singularly profound and may be regarded as the chief glory of the Kabalah. We must now, however, approach its fantastic portions. We have seen that the world of Briar is that of creation, but whatever reservations may be inferred from Kabbalistic writers on the axiom ex nihilo nihil fit, we have seen also that their use of the term creation does not at all correspond to the sense of Christian cosmology, because that which they called nothing evasively was the plenitude in which the all lay latent. Further, the world of Briar was not that in which anything material was formed, emanated, or otherwise brought into actual being. It was rather the Elohistic world, that of panergic force and intelligence which became formative in Yetzirah, but did not produce matter except in the fourth world. Now the materials used and shaped, or perhaps more properly speaking, the instruments, the matrices of the material world, are said by the Kabbalists to have been the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. According to the Sefer Yetzirah, God imparted to them form and weight by combining and transforming them in diverse manners. Aleph with all the rest, and all the rest with Aleph, Beth with all and all with Beth, and so of the rest. Some hundreds of permutations were obtained in this manner, which are the origin not only of all languages, but of all creatures. As these permutations can, by the hypothesis, be reduced to a single name, that of tetragrammation, the Jod, he, vau, he, which I have had occasion to mention previously, it is said that the entire universe proceeds from this name. The reader will discern at once the nature of the device, which may be methodized by a simple process. The world came forth from God, but the name of God is seen here. Therefore the world came forth from seen here. The fundamental letters of the Book of Formation are not, however, those which compose the divine name. They are Aleph, Mem, and Shin, distinguished as the three mothers and corresponding to air, water, and fire. The heavens are formed of fire, the earth is of water, and the air of the mediate spirit. Their correspondences are, in the year, the torrid, frigid, and temperate seasons; in man, the head, belly, and breast. Besides the three mothers, there are 7 double letters as seen here. These 7 signs stand in the Book of Formation seen here. Their correspondences in the universe are seen here. And the holy palace, fixed in the center and sustaining all things. When the 7 double letters had been shaped by the deity, he combined and created therewith the planets in the heaven, the days in the year that is, the 7 days of creation, and the gates in man that is, eyes, ears, nostrils, and mouth. There are finally 12 simple letters, having the following correspondences in man and the world, seen here. By means of the 12 simples, there were created the signs of the zodiac, the 12 months, and the 12 directors of man, i.e. the 2 hands, the feet, the 2 kidneys, the liver, the gall, the spleen, the colon, the bladder, and the arteries. I must leave my readers to decide how this bizarre system is to be interpreted. It has been regarded by 1 or 2 critics who have no occult leanings as a serious attempt to devise a philosophical cosmology. But for myself, I must confess that I do not see in what manner it is superior to the familiar fable of the elephant and the tortoise. There are those, of course, who discern in it a secret meaning, who remember, for example, that the letters of the Hebrew alphabet stand also for numerals, and do not fail to cite the scriptural statement that God made everything by weight, number, and measure. Indeed, the Sefer Yetzirah may be regarded as a commentary on this declaration. As a rule, however, I think that the Kabbalists, like other makers of philosophy, meant that which they said, and if they did not say all that they meant, The unexpressed residuum was along the lines of the sense expressed. When they affirmed, therefore, that the world was made by means of the letters of the alphabet, they really meant what they stated. But if it be asked whether they understood by those letters the symbols of arcane powers, it must be answered that they did. The letters are, however, more than mere symbols. They are vessels or manifestations of the concealed powers. The sense is therefore true ex hypothesi in a literal and arcane manner. The warrant of the hypothesis must be sought in the Talmudic system, which believed that the body of the sacred text was divine, like the sense which was its soul, which soul had, like man himself, an inner spirit, the highest of all, namely, the concealed meaning. Now the letters of the alphabet were the materials of the textual body, to the care and preservation of which the traditional science of the Masorah was devoted. For the mystical Jew, who discerned strange abysses of mystery in the smallest peculiarities of the Torah, there was a weird fascination in the fact that all the wonders and sanctities of the law and the prophets resulted from the diverse combinations of 22 letters, and he came to regard this handful of conventional hieroglyphs as so many sacraments or instruments by which the divine wisdom was communicated to man. In a word, for him they ceased to be conventions. A divine revelation required a divine language to express it, and the alphabet of that language was a derivation from the noumenal world, vessels of singular election, instruments of deity, from which it was an easy transition to suppose that such channels of spiritual grace and life must have fulfilled some exalted office in the shaping of the universe itself. This doctrine of the instruments of creation is the oldest part of Kabbalistic literature, which it follows improved very much as it developed. It was intimately connected with the idea of the pre-existence of the Torah, and to say that the world was created by the inscription of letters in the air was, in one sense, only another manner of saying that it was created by the Torah, while the latter affirmation is not incapable of being regarded in a philosophical manner by the help of the Kabbalistic doctrine of correspondences, for which the Torah of Moses would be only the mundane type of the eternal and divine law. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment, and if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Roses. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.